102.4 yards.
There you go, dead center. Good work.
Got it!
Hey everybody, we're here again. This is Jeff Brozovich with Long Range Only, and I'm here with Ava. We're going to do a little more training today. So what we're going to do, this is episode number 3 we're going to be filming today, and what we're going to do is we're going to start out with, I'm going to start teaching Ava the basics and let her put together some of her own ammo that she'll be hunting with. We want the full aspect. I want her to hunt with the ammo she loads this year and learn the basics of what it takes and what it is to build your own ammo in a precision method. And then we're also going to go out today, do a little filming, shooting of kind of more of an, instead of shooting steel gongs from the same place, we're going to kind of do a little random stuff, maybe shoot some rocks on far hillsides and things like that, where we can concentrate on being able to drop down and shoot in the field where you may not have perfect place to lay or whatever. And also we can work on canyon winds and things like that. They're a real deal, and when she goes after her mule deer or an elk this year, she's probably going to encounter some canyon winds. So we want to work a little bit and start on that, as well as her basic fundamentals, you know, and their trigger control and getting her rifle solid. So is there anything you think you need to work on, Ava? How you feel about all this?
I'm very excited about this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of it's a little hard for me to understand, so I'm definitely going to be asking a lot more questions. But I'm looking forward to this year, and hopefully we'll do good on our first hunt.
I'm sure we will. Looking forward to that first hunt with you. That's going to be the when it all comes together. So we just want to make sure we do our due diligence before that, and that you're ready when it's time to go.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we're using new ADG brass for your rifle. So what we're going to do is, you can load this just like it is out of the box for the first firing, but what I like to do is clean up the necks a little interior and exterior chamfer on the neck. That's what this machine does. And then I go inside and we're going to clean out the flash hole of any burrs that might be on the inside of the flash hole from the primer. So when the primer fires, it goes through that little hole to light the powder. We just want to make sure all the burrs are removed and so they're all the same.
Okay.
So you're going to use this machine. What you're going to do is you're going to put light pressure on this one so it cleans it up, and a little heavier on this one because it doesn't cut as much. And we drop in here and we feel for that hole. When we feel it go in the hole, we hold it till it runs smooth. You'll feel the chips coming off. Brush the neck. That one's ready to prime. Okay? Then you go over this one and you want to feel it drop through that hole. Move it around there. Feel it drop. Hold down till it runs smooth. Okay? Run it over the brush once. There you go. That one's ready to prime.
That's weird.
Light, heavy. Feel for your.
There we go.
So now we prepped our brass. We're going to install our primers. So we need a primer. That's what your firing pin hits. It initiates the burn of the powder. It forces the bullet out the barrel. So we're going to install our primers in here. And what I do when I load my primer tool, I've got 6 pieces of brass. So I'm only going to put 6 primers in here. And the reason for that is, that way when I get done, if I know I don't have any left, I got 1 in each one. And if I did have extras or something like that, I'd know that I either missed one or I need to look at why I haven't got the right number of primers. So what you'll be doing, your primers go out of your tray into there.
So you slide your bullet into that.
You slide your case in, start squeezing, and squeeze firmly until you feel it hit bottom. It'll be about, you'll have about that much slack left, but you'll feel that primer hit the bottom of where it's going. And you let off and look at it. We always feel it to make sure it's below the surface of the head of the brass, okay? We want it below, make sure it's fully seated all the way. If not, if we don't get that fully seated all the way, when your firing pin hits it, the primer could slide forward, and that might make a misfire. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to be sure we're seating all the way to the bottom. You'll feel it slides kind of firm, then boom, you'll feel it hit the bottom of the case. Okay? And kind of keep that tilted up like that.
I feel like this might be a little.
Okay. Go ahead and squeeze. There, feel it hit bottom?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, so what we're doing here, we use a reloading tray, and you can see we've have the, some we fired at the back that we'll be reloading after we've fired them all. We've got some loaded rounds here, and these are the ones we're getting ready to load. And what we'll do is we'll start working from back here. We'll charge them with our powder, put our bullets in, and then return them here into the loaded section. These trays are nice, they keep everything organized. You can go in a rhythm, that way, as you're going through priming, you know which ones are done and set them back in the row. You finish a row, you go to the next. It helps you keep everything straight.
Okay.
Okay, so next we're gonna move on to powder charging. And what we have here is some Imperial Dry Lube. This is just a dry black graphite. We'll get a towel here. So I'll show you what we're gonna do. First, let's zero our scales. All right, zero, we're gonna hit calibrate. Put a 50-gram weight on. And it's asking for 100, so we put another 50 on. That returns to 0 and stabilizes. And when we put our tray on, it should be like, yeah, a few little powder dripped out there. All right, when we put that on, it should be like negative 163.0. Then we hit 0, and we're zeroed. As we're going through our charge weights here today, we're gonna watch to make sure that when we put a charge weight in a case, it's exactly what we want. And the other thing we watch is when we remove the scale, it's 163.0 until we put this empty one back on. When we remove the pan. That tells us, as long as we keep going back to that number, that tells us our scale is staying in calibration. So it's zeroed with the pan on. 163.0 is where we want to be when the pan's off. And that just tells us that our scale is staying with us, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what we use the Imperial Dry Lube for is we're just gonna put a little dust, this graphite powder inside the necks, and we'll wipe the outside of the neck off. And what that does is, it not only makes our bullet seat easier, but it also reduces some of the cold welding, we'll call it. When the case, after they set on the shelf for a long time, the case will actually fuse itself to the copper jack of the bullet and it gets sticky. And if it does that, your extreme spread and your velocities will change. And then that makes your, your long range accuracy go away. So we wanna put a little bit of dry lube in there, and then we're gonna go to charging our powder next. So our powder charge weight is 58.1 grains. 58.1, we'll hit dispense. Put your funnel on that case. The funnel just sets right on top there and centers up, and then you can just kind of hold it. So when it comes back, see we're looking for the 58.1, that confirms we're at 58.1. So very carefully pick your powder up, slowly dump it into the funnel, not letting any splash out. And before we put our pan back, we're gonna look, we're 163.0, okay? And then it'll start on the next one. Dip it in there 4 or 5 times and wipe off the outside of your neck. Good. Put your funnel on, wait for your charge master to tell you that it's exactly, wait, it'll tell you 58.1, you're good to go. Carefully lift that out of there. There you go. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is check our total overall length. Well, not actually our overall length, our length to where our bullet would set, and that's what this comparator is for. This is where our bullet would set in comparative to the lands. So we've got a length from our load card here, 2.310. So that's what we're looking for when we slide this in this comparator. And then what we have to do is we have to center up back here to get it the exact right length, 2.310. So you seated that bullet perfect, and that's the kind of accuracy we're looking for out of our loads.
What'll happen if it's not the exact length?
It'll just affect the accuracy. You know how we worked up that load in your rifle so that all the bullets are hitting in the same spot at 100 yards. And if you start varying that, it can affect the accuracy. So your seating depth controls, you know, that's your fine tune of your load to your rifle. So we want to get as close as we can. If we're a half a thou or a thou off, it's probably not going to be a deal breaker. But we want to get as close to that exact perfect seating depth.
So it basically just affects our accuracy on
Basically, that's what it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Don't go too fast, just come down nice and slow and even. Make sure everything's going up in there right. That's good, yeah. So now you're feeling your bullet go in. There you go, hit the bottom, come off. Now measure your length. And remember, we're looking for that 2.310.
How do you?
Yep, slide that up with your thumb. And you want to center this here and push with your thumb a little bit. Okay, your 2.311. We'll slide this around a little, push a little harder, get you centered up. There it is. So when you get this, you have to center back here or it makes it longer or shorter. So when you get that centered there and you use about the same amount of pressure every time, you see that 2.310 we're looking for.
Okay.
All right, good. So if you notice, while you're loading that, I'll tell you a couple other little things about reloading here. If you notice, using H1000, that is the only powder we have on the bench now. That is our in-house rule here. Never more than one powder on the bench at a time. Because we don't want to mix up and come out here and start reloading and we think we got H1000 in here and we have something else and then we run into a catastrophic failure or blow a rifle up because we used the wrong powder. So we always work with one powder. When we're done with this powder, we put it all back in there, put it in the cabinet, get out the next powder we're going to work with. But we never have multiple powders on the bench at once.
Okay, so finish what you started, then
Exactly, then change.
It's like when my mom tells me to finish an art project before you start another.
There you go. Okay, Eva, so we've loaded all your ammo. We got it ready to go. But I think what we better do, we always like to check our zeros. So let's step out here to my 100-yard range, and I'm going to have you shoot the target once at 100 yards and make sure that you're still zeroed with your new ammo.
Okay, let's go. Press the button. Okay, I can hear.
Make sure those are staying stacked straight, okay?
Okay.
That feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the upper right corner.
Safety's on.
Okay, I'm on target.
All right, there you go, good. Concentrate on that target picture as you're squeezing, but keep your crosshairs where you want them. How'd you do?
I hit the target, almost dead on.
Let me look. That's fine.
I'm gonna go get my...
Very top right corner.
That's my girl.
Oh shit, yeah, she's on the 10 o'clock on the white. So.
She's a shooter.
That's the max is 1.4.
Yeah, it's just died off to about nothing. So which way is the wind coming from? Okay, so
Here.
another good thing to know is if you can feel wind on your face, it's at least 1.5 miles an hour. We can't really feel a 1 mile an hour wind, but about 1.5 we start feeling it on our face. So if you're feeling that, it's probably about a 1.5 mile an hour wind, right?
Okay, it's 3 miles an hour right now.
Oh, you got it on max. So there's 3 different settings here. So you go your clock, and then that's your actual speed that'll keep changing with you. Or you can do max, and that'll stay at your highest wind you've had since you turned it on. Or you can go average, and it'll average it while you're watching it. So we're just gonna go to the regular, the wind speed one. Now it's over here. See? If you watch here, I'm gonna give it to you. If you watch that, when that gets down below 1.5, you won't be able to feel it. See, that feels like about 1.5, 1.75. So, target's at 12 o'clock. Which way is our wind coming from?
Go from that way.
Okay, and so what would that be? If that's 12, if you're looking at a clock, if that's 12, this is 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, it's about 8.
About 8. But it ain't much. It's 2 miles an hour. So you know what? We're just gonna dial like a quarter left for wind. Just give it just a little bit left.
542.6 yards. Our dial up is 8.53. So I just go. I go 8.5. So 8 and 2 notches. My left is 56.
Yep.
So I just got it.
So elevation is 8.5, 8.5.
Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Way, way, way better. Okay, I'm almost exactly on the tan rock. Are these the bullets we made today?
Yes, they are. They're the bullets you made. Okay. Ava, go ahead and chamber around, put your safety on.
It is level. Safety's on.
Okay, chambered around, check your level. Okay, in that gray, tannish gray area of that big rock, there's a little black spot about the size of an egg.
Got it.
Got it?
Yep.
All right. Don't forget your follow through. Whenever you're ready, click your safety off and squeeze it slow.
Okay.
Oh, bingo. You blew that black spot off the rock. Nice work.
That didn't even hurt at all.
It's a little better to shoot, huh?
Yeah, way better. I did feel my eye twitch a little bit.
It's not a bad thing to blink as long as you're handling your gun so your gun stays on it. You know what I mean? Because the minute you get done blinking, you're still seeing the same picture, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see the hole.
Yeah.
I did hit it.
Yeah, put one right in that hole.
Okay.
You got a bigger aim spot now. Make sure your level's good when you get it chambered. Okay, you had a direct hit. So we're gonna shoot the same spot, only now you're gonna shoot your impact, your bullet hole.
Okay.
It's a little bigger than what you were shooting at before, so just shoot right for the center of it. Take your time and tell me when you're on target. Watch your level.
Zoom out for a second.
Yep.
I can find my target again. Okay, I'm way zoomed out now. I'm on.
Okay, you're gonna shoot that hole you made with your last shot. So right in the center of it, squeeze it slow, and remember to watch for your impact. Remember follow through.
Okay.
Perfect.
I saw that hit too.
Good job.
802.6, same as it was. Left, I need to dial 0.91.
Okay, so it's telling you about a minute, and that's just your spin drift. But we've turned into our wind. Now our wind isn't at 8 o'clock anymore because we changed positions. Now our wind's at 9 o'clock, so it's a stronger wind. So I want you to dial a minute and a half left.
Okay, a minute and a half left. 15.75.
Okay.
So 15, 3 notches.
Yep, that's all. It's all you. If that's what it told you, good to go.
Button.
Yep.
Shoot.
Tell me when you're on target. Make yourself comfortable. Watch for follow through.
Okay. There we go. It's on safety. I need to get this.
Now, when you dial your power up, that's a pretty good sized rock. So we're gonna go for just the center. I want you to just shoot for the very center of that rock, okay? You might even be able to pick out a little spot there to aim at. I think there's a little notch there or something, or a little black spot. You may have to reset your parallax. Yep. All right, whenever you're ready, remember follow through and watch for your impact. Remember all your fundamentals. Shot just over it. Did your gun move?
No, it did not.
Take another shot. Make sure your bag is tight on the back. If your bag sunk any when it went off, that's why you shot over. You shot over and a little right. Give me a half minute left more in there.
So just go to number 2.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to find out if our rangefinder's wrong or if you let the gun move.
Okay, I'll try and keep the bag.
Yeah, just make sure your bag is solid and slid back and you got a tight foundation. Whenever you're ready, touch it off slow.
On target.
Whenever you're ready, touch it off slow. Same spot. Yeah. What is it? Is it 800 yards?
800.6. 806.
Is she on 15.7?
Yep, 15 points. Yeah, she's 15.
Dial back to 14.7.
There.
So you're at 14 and 3 clicks, right?
Yep.
All right. Dial left to 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. When you're ready.
I'll load this. On target.
Whenever you're ready, touch her off slow and watch for your impact.
Yes, sir.
You got your power turned up on your scope, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All the way, actually.
Okay. That one, I think the elevation was good, but it went to the left of the rock.
Okay.
The wind died too on it.
Yeah, dial back to 1 3/4 on your windage. Oh. You should be at 2.5. Go back to 1 3/4.
Got it.
Okay, whenever you're ready. It went in the back where the first one was. It's still shooting over. It don't make any sense. Did we not shoot since I gave her the last correction? I think we're at 13 3/4, right? Ava, you at 13 3/4?
Yep.
And your left, how much?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Go ahead and shoot one there.
Wind went up.
Yeah, I know. We'll just kind of wait for the wind to calm down a little.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Whenever you're ready, touch it off easy and watch for your impact. Now I hit a minute low. Can I shoot it once?
Go ahead.
It's not your fault. We'll figure it out.
I know it's not my fault, but
I know. We'll get it.
it's on safety, but there's nothing in the
Where
board.
do you want to dial, Jeff?
I'm going to dial back to 15.
Right at 15?
Yeah.
Hit.
Was it just a hair low of center?
It was looked dead center. Maybe like an eighth a minute, not much.
I'm going to dial what the book said and shoot again. Come on. Ready?
You were higher, but you shot the top right of the rock off.
Yeah, I see where it's only quarter minute high.
Yeah, no, yeah, just
That's right back on program. So, learning moment. Okay? Sit down here. We're going to talk a little bit. Talk to this old guy. So we struggled a little bit on that one, okay? As we go out farther, remember all our errors magnify. That means that if we got this much of an error at 100 yards, it's that much of an error at 1,000, okay? So what happened is, I think what you were doing is you're fighting your bag a little bit and didn't have your bag good and solid. You might have been lifting up on the gun a little bit, and if you lift up a little bit, then that's why the gun dropped when it went off and your bullet went over. There's a microsecond that bullet is still in that barrel. If the gun moves before that bullet clears that barrel, it has influence on the impact out there. So I think that's why you were struggling with that. We know we got it dialed in now. Everything's on program, so I'm gonna have you shoot that again, and here's what I want you to concentrate on. I want your shoulder there, pushing just that much forward.
Okay.
See? And I want that gun tight in that bag and move your bag. Don't try to lift your gun up to get on target.
I was lifting to try and move the bag under.
There you go.
That might have
So
been.
when you lifted, now you're not tight on your foundation.
Okay.
The gun goes off, it goes boop, and you shoot over the top of your target. So good lesson there. That's what we're out here for. We're learning, right? So you're gonna get on it, and this one you're gonna dead center that rock.
Okay.
Okay, Ava, are you right on your rock?
Yep.
Okay, I want you to shoot for the center of it and make sure your rear bag is really solid so you can't push that gun down in the back. And let's wait for this wind to calm down just a little bit. But get on target, tell me when you're there.
I'm here.
Okay, whenever you're ready. There you go, dead center. Good work.
And I thought it hit too.
All right, win-win. You know what? You don't learn nothing when you hit every time. You learned something, didn't you?
Yeah, that's for
That
sure.
bag has to be solid. That's why I designed that bag. It has to be solid. Even on a little gun like this, even on a 6.5, that recoil, that nanosecond that a gun can move. Good job. And the other thing is, the more solid you are, the better it's on target. So you did everything right on that shot. You got a dead center hit, and you watch your bullet hit your target. That's awesome. Hey Ava, it was a good day. We learned a lot. You loaded your own ammo, you learned all that stuff, and by the end of the sequence, you were sitting there hammering out bullets, doing a great job. So it was a really good day, and we got out here in the wind a little bit and did some longer range shooting. So we learned some lessons. What was the most important thing you learned today? I want to hear what sticks in your mind.
To have a solid rest, or else if you're holding it up, it's not going to shoot right because it'll drop.
That's right. That's exactly right. And a lot of people miss that, and that's why we designed this bag the way we did. We need a solid rest. We want the back of that gun solid, and it stays there while the bullet leaves the barrel. Good job. This was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was.